Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing a launch from 2014 from Glashutte Original of Saxony in East Germany. From Glashutte, this is the PanoMaticInverse. So it is the Pano with the panorama datum, it is the Matic with automatic winding, and it is inverse, taking after the original 2008 watch, which brought the escapement and the balance to the dial side to give you all of the fun of a display case back on the front of the watch. So it is 42 millimeters in diameter in stainless steel. It is 12.6 millimeters thick from end link to end link. You can see the distance across lug to lug is 48.1 millimeters, and then we have a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Taking a quick look, you can see it wears well on my wrist of 16 centimeters circumference, though I'm going to recommend the watch for wrists no smaller than 15 centimeters because it does have a broad stance and a large physical presence. It's not terribly thick. Again, 12.6 will fit underneath most sleeves, but it does have the look of an enormous saucer on the wrist, being broad and flat. So 15 centimeters circumference or larger is my recommendation. The strap is substantial. Geo gives you a lot. As you can see, it is large rectangular scale alligator leather. It is black, it is semi-gloss, it has a little bit of bolstering or stuffing. You can see though the edge is broad, it is a folded edge, not a sheer one, with a monotone stitch. And then on the underside you can see there's calf skin, and it is a brand new Glashutte Original factory strap. So taking a quick look, you can see that the deploying clasp uses a screw fixture. The screw fixture is something that we often see on watches like Vacheron, Glashutte Original, when they want to create more security against dropping your watch. So normally a deploying clasp is there for this reason. It's harder for it to fall off your wrist as you open the clasp. But for even more security, once you find your size, there's this little screw that fixes it in place so the strap can never pull out of the buckle. You can see externally the buckle is satinated and polished. Internally it is a combination of media blasted and polished, and it closes securely. The case is relatively simple and distinctive of Glashutte Original. You can see it's a round case with a longitudinal satin finish on the case flank as well as the lugs. There's polishing on the bezel. The lug-heads have a little bit of a faint transitional bevel on their edge, and then they're polished on their top. You can also see that the bezel has a vertical component, and then there's a conical component, and then there's a little step. So it has a double-stepped conical bezel that's all of high polish, better to contrast with the satin of the case. We have a Glashutte Original branded crown, and then on the dial side, all the fun of a fine display case back. A quick loom shot. It does have some loom, not a lot, but as you can see, it has some. And we have Côte de Genève, or we'll call them Glashutte stripes because we're not in Switzerland, and they run vertically. We have engine-turned perlage in two different sizes on the base plate. We have fired blued screws, and then you see we also have blued hands and blued hour indices. Notice that the dials themselves are applique, and then we have applique indices atop them. We have flush discs for the panorama datum, or as it would be called in Switzerland, the Grande Date, and it has a mechanism for quick setting, which is not universal on these Geo watches. Sometimes they have a little pusher adjuster on the side. This one actually has a quick set mechanism built in, so you can play with the Grande Date if you prefer. The watch also has a hacking seconds function. Now this is Glashutte Original, manufactured caliber 9102. So rotor automatic winding with a 42-hour power reserve. It beats away at 8 beats per second. It is made in Germany. And as you can see, it is adjusted to 5 positions, which is the high horology standard and the chronometer standard. So this watch is adjusted to exacting standards. It pivots on 49 joules, and all of this is water resistant down to 30 meters. As you can see, it is beautifully rendered. Take a look at the black polished duplex swan's neck fine adjustment system, which can be used for very fine adjustments to the mechanism. You can also see that we have freehand engraved bridge structures beneath. All of this is done with a burr. It's not done by a drill bit or a lathe of any kind. You also appreciate that there is beveling on the edge of the few bridges we have, but it is there, it is present, it is correct. Then we have satination on the wheels, and on the reverse side you'll see there's a little bit of black polish, satination, and then straight graining. There's not as much to see on the back, but what is there is attractive. A handsome and one might even say borderline iconic watch from Geo. Geo doesn't have a lot of all-time classic designs. The Inverse family is one of the few that is distinctive of the brand and unmistakable. For Glashutte Original, this is a watch that will not be confused with anything else. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.